ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Thursday, July 9th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, and it is open now. 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. We're going to have that open the entirety of the show today, so you get to help determine where we go today. We got a few things to get into with you, so we'll do that now, starting with baseball. You just heard it not that long ago. The Pirates losing to the Braves 10-5, and that is after the Braves beat the Pirates yesterday 3-0. Reds yesterday got the win over the Phillies 11-5. Final game of that series coming up tonight at 7:10. And then earlier today, it was the Guardians beating the Twins 5-2, and this is after the Twins got the win yesterday 6-5. So afternoon baseball rolling on. We're heading into the nighttime hours now. And of course, the other thing that is happening, World Cup continues. And there's no score. We're at halftime between France and Morocco. That game being played in Foxborough. And right now, no score. France, the prohibitive favorite of the tournament. Tomorrow, it's Spain and Belgium at 3 o'clock. And then Saturday, it'll be Norway and England, and then Argentina and Switzerland. But right now, no score between France and Morocco. That game in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And there are a few things we got into yesterday that I'm happy to kind of expand on. We'll talk a little bit about the Conference USA Hall of Fame with John Elmore and Rachel Folden, both in the Conference USA Hall of Fame, and deservingly so. Is there anyone else from that Conference USA run in Marshall history that you think would deserve to be in the Conference USA Hall of Fame? Think about that, and I'll throw that out to you. Who else should be in the Conference USA Hall of Fame? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's the number to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I got a name for you. Rakeem Cato. For a lot of you, that's your guy. For a lot of you, that's where Marshall football begins, Rakeem Cato. Would he be worthy? He's probably a shoe-in. He's worthy for the Conference USA Hall of Fame, right? Wouldn't he be? What do you think? Rakeem Cato, the guy that you would put out there? I took the easy one from you, so think about that, and we'll take your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I'm thinking definitely that's where I would go as far as athletes in Conference USA. Who else would be a good fit for Conference USA Hall of Fame that played at Marshall University? It doesn't matter the sport, just who would be a good fit for the Hall of Fame? And again, I think that's the easy one right there with Cato. Anyone else in basketball? I mean, Johnny Buckets obviously is a obvious pick. If you go back a few years, you got to think about some other players that honestly, I think if you look at it, and I'm trying to be realistic here. You know, when you go back to the Conference USA days, is there a player that stands out to you? Is there a player that you think that, wow, when I think of Marshall's time in Conference USA, I think of this player. I think of this guy. This is the one that comes to mind for me. And I'm trying to telegraph it to you a little bit here, trying to help you out here a little bit. I think I got a guy for you. I think I have a guy here. I'm going to say his name is Tavion Kinsey. That's who I'm going to say. I'm going to say Tavion Kinsey. Makes sense to me, as I don't know if he's a shoo-in, but he should be. I would think a guy with the accolades of Tavion Kinsey in Conference USA probably would be a shoo-in when his eligibility begins. I could probably make a case for him. I can make a case for Rakeem Cato. I would push Cato first, just because he played late. He played several years prior. So I like getting the guys that I don't want to see the guys that are getting older have to wait if they're worthy, if they deserve it. I don't like that. I mean, if you're good enough, you're worthy, should get in. I don't want to see the waiting. I mean, you have a line, obviously, but I would make an argument for Cato, for at least football. And then, of course, for Tavion, I would make that argument as well. So do you have someone you would make an argument with? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul. Cato, Schuler, Billingsley for volleyball, Zirkle, and I agree on Tavion Kinsey. It's a good list right there. You can't have Cato without Schuler, right? I mean, I'm sure you could, but I don't think it would be the same. You have to have Cato and Schuler. They should go in together. That might be the best way to do it. Put them both in together because it's like peanut butter and jelly, right? Is that the best analogy, peanut butter and jelly? Is it like, I'll go with that. I'm going to stick with peanut butter and jelly. That's who they are. It's like Batman and Robin, right? Which one's Batman? Probably Cato. Would it be Superman and Batman? I mean, because, again, Schuler's nobody's second fiddle by any stretch of the imagination. And then Billingsley for volleyball, that's a good pick. And, of course, Coach Z, what? That's an obvious one. Coach Z, definitely. I mean, she's still going, coaching, playing. I mean, Coach isn't ready for the Hall of Fame just yet because Coach is still going. She's gonna be coaching like well into I don't know how long she's gonna be coaching, but she's gonna be doing it for a long time, and she might never stop playing. So when do you put her in? But yeah, that's definitely a winner right there. So I appreciate that. We'll get more of your texts coming up. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've got the open text lines today. It's wide open for you. Who do you think should be in the Conference USA Hall of Fame from Marshall University? And again, Marshall's not even in Conference USA anymore, but that's not how these things work. If you were in, you were in. I never like conferences kind of glomming onto previous players from different leagues. Like the MAC can glom onto Randy Moss, but Conference USA can't say a thing about Randy. No, you don't get to claim Randy. I mean, you can talk about, hey, this is Marshall University where blah, 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 blah played, Randy Moss. But let's not act like that Randy Moss ever played in the Sun Belt or Conference USA. I've seen that before. No, not what it means. He was a standout at Marshall University, and, of course, the MAC, that's where his accolades are. 304-396-TALK. This is The Drive. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Big news, Cabell County. King's Tire Service is now open on Route 60 in Ona, across from Cabell Midland. For more than 55 years, we've been serving West Virginia with automotive excellence you can trust. We do more than just sell tires. Our ASE certified technicians are ready to handle all your repairs. From your daily driver to the heavy-duty demands on the job. Our philosophy at King's is simple. We never promise more than we can deliver, and we always give you more than you expect. Stop by our brand new Ona location today or visit us at kingtireservice.com.
Hi, I'm Elise Smith, First Lady of Marshall University and founder of the Women Warriors Summit. The summit is back this fall, and we're bringing an incredible day to Huntington, West Virginia. Join us Friday, October 23rd, as women from across Appalachia and beyond come together for the power of reinvention. This year, we'll talk about what it means to grow, change, and begin again at every age and every stage. And we have an amazing lineup to lead that conversation. Brooke Shields, actress, best-selling author, entrepreneur, and advocate for women, will join us as our keynote speaker. Amy Purdy, three-time Paralympic medalist, best-selling author, and co-founder of Adaptive Action Sports, will serve as MC and speaker. Expect big stories, fresh ideas, and a room full of energy. Thinking about your next move? Visit WomenWarriorsSummit.com to learn more. I hope to see you there.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
This fall, plan a getaway to West Virginia's state parks. Scenic hikes, mountain tram rides, cozy cabins, and brilliant fall color are all waiting along our country roads. Best of all, it's closer and more affordable than you think. Gather your crew and start planning now. Visit wvstateparks.com.
Remodeling your house? Need to save money? Shop at Home Builder Supply, 1560 Diedrich Boulevard in Russell. They have everything you need, such as flooring tile, windows, vanities, cabinets, doors, trim, and much more. They can even do installations. For furniture and home decor, visit their new Home Builders Furniture location by Super Quick on Route 1 in Greenup. For personal service, affordable prices, and workmanship you can trust, go to Home Builders Supply in Russell and Home Builders Furniture in Greenup. They do it right.
Hometown Chevrolet is your home for the new 30-mile-per-gallon Chevy Trax SUV with 0% financing available. They also have 0% financing for a full 5 years on new 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500s. Plus, no payment for 90 days and free oil changes for life. Their used vehicles are priced to move with the payments you want. From low APRs to credit rebuilding, they've got you covered. Together, let's drive. Hometown Chevrolet, Waverly, Ohio. The heartbeat of America. Everything you need right here at home. Offer ends 8/3/26.
It's been a trying year for parents. They've been confronted with countless challenges and have always risen to the occasion. If it isn't too much to ask, the 35,000 high school student athletes in West Virginia have one last request.
Please, set an example.
Disorderly fan conduct at high school athletic events is on the rise. It increasingly involves parents. There's no question that parents are passionate. There's no question they care about their children. But at a time when we're all wound a little more tightly than usual, it's worth remembering this about West Virginia high school sports. Always be a good example. Stop unruly fan behavior before it starts.
This message presented by the West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Our text line is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, and we're taking those now at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome back to today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. So yesterday we got the news that, well-deserving, by the way, John Elmore, Rachel Folden, both of them are going to be in the Conference USA Hall of Fame. Makes perfect sense. Johnny Basketball, Johnny Buckets, the guy was a legend at Marshall University. Rachel Folden, a legend at Marshall University. And so those two make perfect sense. Who else makes perfect sense for a Conference USA Hall of Fame induction? So we're taking your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255, and we're getting some interesting names here. And, of course, you can second those as well. First up, Texter says, Paul, Vinnie Curry deserves a spot in the Conference USA Hall of Fame because he was a game-changing defensive end who consistently wrecked offensive lines. His speed off the edge, his knack for pressure, and big sacks made him a nightmare for opponents. He helped elevate Marshall defense and the program's visibility. How can he not get a look? And that's from John, checking in from Huntington. John, we appreciate that text. We got a second on Vinnie Curry as well. Let's see, who else did we get? Here's a nod for Ahmed Bradshaw. Okay, Ahmed Bradshaw. I like it. Devin Johnson. That's a good one. Cody Slate. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. Albert McClellan. I could see that as well. Those are some good names here. Where would you rank those, though? I think Vinny, though. I mean, you go back on that. Vinny definitely. Vinnie Curry. I mean, Cody Slate would qualify for me, right? Because, I mean, he was a Conference USA All-Freshman selection. I think he was two-time first-team All-Conference USA, and that's pretty good right there. And then you got Vinnie Curry. And do we really need to go over the Vinnie Curry resume? We probably should. We probably should, because of the fact that the man was just electrifying. When it came to what he was able to do on the football field, he was a force to be reckoned with. So I would say, yeah, Vinny Curry, let's go with him as maybe the guy we would push over everybody else. But the resume looks like this. And again, Conference USA Hall of Fame, I don't know what all of their criteria are. I mean, Johnny Buckets is still playing basketball. He's still in the G League. He's the oldest man in the G League. He's father time in basketball. Vinny Curry was the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year in 2011. Vinny Curry was a two-time first-teamer All-Conference USA. He was a first-team All-American in 2011. Throw on top of that, the guy was a Super Bowl champion. And, of course, he was also on this show. So right there, that merits a Hall of Fame nod right there. But if you look at the guy from a Conference USA point of view, he had, in his senior year, 11 sacks. Previous year, he had 12. So, okay, you missed one, Vinny. Come on. He had 6 forced fumbles. The sacks at that time, the 6th most in the nation. The fumbles were second in the nation, 6 of them. 74 tackles. That's a Hall of Fame career right there. The way he was dominant once he exploded. So he definitely gets a look as far as the Hall of Fame is concerned from Conference USA. I would think so. I'm a little biased there. What about Ahmed Bradshaw? How would you look at his career and go, okay. Now, again, I don't have a list of who's in the Conference USA Hall of Fame right now. I do apologize. I don't have that list. But if I'm putting one together, I'm putting Ahmed Bradshaw in my list here, because here's a guy who was two-time All-Conference USA 2005, 2006. I mean, he's in the Marshall Hall of Fame. Freshman season, under 500 yards. Okay. Sophomore year, 997 yards. But 1,328 all-purpose yards. Junior year, 1,523 yards, 19 touchdowns, 129 receiving yards, 2 scores there. He was tied for 3rd in rushing touchdowns that year, 8th in the nation in rushing yards. Remember the game? I almost forgot about this one. Remember the game where he rushed for 242 yards and 2 touchdowns against the University of Alabama, Birmingham? And then he had 2,000 yards. That would have been amazing. 261 yards and 5 touchdowns against UTEP in his junior year. I mean, the guy was a beast. He could go. Could he be a strong candidate for Hall of Fame Conference USA? I think Vinny is almost assured. I would absolutely say Vinny Curry would have to be. He would have to be. You would have to look at him and go, okay, yeah, definitely Vinny Curry is a guy that would make sense. He was also we mentioned, he was a Defensive Player of the Year. You know who else was a Defensive Player of the Year? Albert McClellan. Here's a guy, overlook the fact he's got 2 Super Bowl championships. 2-time first-teamer, All-Conference USA. He was a second-teamer in 2009, but the 2006 Defensive Player of the Year. If I'm looking to put Marshall football players in the Conference USA Hall of Fame, it's definitely this guy. Now, he was a Baltimore Raven, so I can't forgive him for that. I'm sorry. Albert, you're a heck of a player, but I mean, you went pro, and, I get it. You were a Raven. You were there for quite some time. I guess I can overlook that. Any other suggestions on this? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So I think I'm looking at Vinny. I'm probably looking at Albert. Maybe I'm pushing those guys more. Rakeem Cato, I'm probably pushing him. You can't have Cato without Schuler. Coach Z probably gets the serious look here when it comes to just all the amazing things that she's done. If you're truly putting together a solid candidate list for Conference USA Hall of Fame, I think we've got some good names here. 304-396-TALK, our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Working Man Store in Huntington. Check out the biggest inventory of scrubs in West Virginia, featuring brands such as Healing Hands, Cherokee, and Meg Couture at the best price. Working Man Store has one of the largest selections of big and tall shirts, jackets, and jeans in the area. Working Man Store is the king of blue jeans with Levi's, Dickies, Carhartt, Lee, Area, and Wranglers in sizes up to 72. And Working Man Store has the best selection of men's work boots and casual shoes anywhere at the best price. Working Man Store, open every day, 140 5th Avenue, Huntington.
Some places just feed you. Hook Food and Spirits feeds something deeper. A Sunday morning and a Saturday night, all under one roof, 7 days a week. Homemade breakfast all day. Lunch, dinner, food that feels like it came from grandmother's kitchen. Because, in a way, it did. Custom cocktails, craft beer, an extensive wine selection, a lounge to settle into, even a banquet room for up to 500 for the big moments. Convenient parking on 6th Street and 4th Avenue. Hooks. Come hungry. Stay a while. 617 4th Avenue, Huntington. Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, July 10th, it's Marshall Health OBGYN Employee Appreciation Night. And a ticket to ride to 9th Street Live with the Newbies and the Big Ass Brass. Set 1 brings your favorite 60s and 70s classics. Set 2 is a full celebration of the Beatles. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Go-Mart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. Mark your calendar for August 7th for ONA. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kindred Communications.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it.
Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
From the rich history to the mountain views, there's something for everyone at Heritage Farm. Open Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays from 10 till 3. Now through October the 31st. Heritage Farm celebrates everything that makes Appalachia special. The history, the animals, and most of all, the people. Bring the family and escape the fast-paced, everyday life with hands-on fun and unforgettable memories. Plus, starting May 30th, check out the Adventure Park featuring 2 rope courses, a 1,000-foot zip line, and mountain bike trails. Plan your visit today at heritagefarmwv.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kathleen Eubanks-Ming with the American Academy of Family Physicians. Bullies use power, strength, or popularity to hurt others emotionally or physically. And while you can't be with your child all the time, there are ways you can help. If your child encounters a bully, tell them to get to a safe place and tell an adult. You can also show them how to block online bullies. Teach them they can be more than a bystander and that they can help their peers. For more on bullying, visit familydoctor.org or talk with your family physician.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
This This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue with today's edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've been talking about the Hall of Fame, Conference USA. John Elmore, Rachel Fulton going into the Conference USA Hall of Fame. Someone suggested earlier Kelly Ann Billingy, and she's already in. So I did a quick look up because I thought she might be in. I didn't want to misspeak, and so I want to correct that now. Kelly Ann got in, and she's in the 2022 class. So 3 that I know of in the Conference USA Hall of Fame, absolutely worthy of the admission. Who else would be worthy of the admission? And, of course, our text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, there's probably some women tennis players that would meet the criteria for Conference USA Hall of Fame. I would think so. That's a fair assessment there. Who would it be, though? Who would it be as far as a worthy person? I'll leave that to you. I've got some ideas, but I'm going to leave that one to you because I got to get a hold of my guy, John Mercer. Like, hey, who would you think? And he'll probably say all of them. He's just that kind of guy here. But you're probably going to look at, if you ever try to make the case, you're going to look at a Rakeem Cato probably in Conference USA, probably first. The more we think about it, it might be Rakeem Cato. It might be Morgan Zirkle, either right there with him or maybe even above him, but they're definitely on that same plateau. I'm going to say Cato and Zirkle are probably at least first looks if you're putting your list together. And if the top of your list doesn't have Morgan Zirkle, didn't they name the Conference USA Player of the Year award after her? They should. Didn't she win it like 3 times? Of course, Morgan also Miss All-American during her time at Marshall University. She had a tremendous career, continues to have a tremendous career. So I would say Cato, I would say Zirkle. Then I would say Vinnie Curry. Then I would say Devin Johnson maybe's on that first page. Wasn't he Offensive Player of the Year, I believe? I've got to go back a little bit here. I mean, we're talking, 12 years? It's not top of my head here. I think he was Conference USA Offensive Player of the Year. I believe so. I'll double-check that before I misspeak. Tommy Schuler would probably be on the front page, but maybe a little bit lower. Here's a name that we haven't talked about yet, Shayna Gore. What about her for women's basketball? What about Ryan Jurczyk? There's a guy. What about, let's see, who would be on that list? That's a good list to think about. But I'm going to say my top guys and ladies would be Rakeem Cato, Vinnie Curry, Morgan Zirkle, Devin Johnson, and I'm going to throw Shayna Gore in there as well. Absolutely. Put them in there as someone that should get serious consideration. And then there's probably a couple outstanding tennis players that should earn a lot of consideration as well. 304-396-TALK, the text line 304-396-8255. That's our number to be a part of today's show. Another vote for Albert McClellan. That is a good one right there. I think the name that, if you look at tennis, I think the name that has to come up first is Kelly Schmidt. She should probably be on that front page. Wouldn't you think? I would think so. I think the accolades are there. I really do. I really do. And she was Conference USA Player of the Year at least a couple of times. Conference champions, doubles, Player of the Week honors. Probably a nice little collection right now, some hardware. She had some really big wins in her career in Conference USA. She has a lot of accolades. I would probably put her on the list. How high would I put her, though? If I'm being realistic about this, she's probably I would say her, Morgan Zirkle, and then Shayna Gore. And I'm not ranking Kelly and Morgan over each other. I would say they're on par with each other as far as their accomplishments and what they meant to the athletic department. while they were in Conference USA. So I would say Morgan Zirkle. I would say Kelly Schmidt. Then I would say maybe a Shayna Gore there in basketball. And on the football side, I'm definitely going to say Cato, Curry, then Johnson. And I know there's got to be an argument for Tavion Kinsey on that first page. There's got to be. It's an interesting list that we're putting together. Your thoughts on it? Am I getting it right? Am I getting it wrong? I won't know until I hear from you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Yeah, I know. I'm setting myself up for it. We'll go over your thoughts when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue now delivers straight to your door. Wings, ribs, brisket, and more. Order online at WVBBQ.com. Great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings. All without leaving your couch. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, 3rd Avenue in Huntington. Life is full of twists and turns. Make sure you're protected with Partners Insurance and Financial Services. From home and auto to life and business insurance, we're here to help you plan, protect, and prosper. Our experienced team works with top providers to find the coverage that fits your life and your budget. And when it comes to your financial future, we're right there with you every step of the way. Partners Insurance and Financial Services, your partner in peace of mind. Call or visit us online today. Let's build your future together. Search Partners Insurance and Financial Services.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Best Deal Equipment, the best deal on farm and industrial equipment. Tractors, skid steers, excavators, and dozers with on-the-spot financing. 5000 Ripley Road in Collegeville, West Virginia. Wolf Mountain Entertainment of Pomeroy, Ohio. Bringing Main Street magic to you.
Feeling ready for a change? The Women Warrior Summit returns Friday, October 23rd in Huntington, West Virginia. This year, we'll explore the power of reinvention with stories about growth, change, and beginning again. Visit WomenWarriorSummit.com to learn more.
The Summer Fun Passport is here. Sign up now for this free passport and earn prizes all summer long. Head to the station's website or Facebook page. Click the Summer Fun Passport link and register. That enters you to win a 3-night trip to Myrtle Beach. Amp up the fun by visiting our participating local businesses. Check in on the Summer Fun Passport and you'll earn points to win more prizes. Check in with these businesses when you arrive. Go-Mart, Jerk Riley's Billiards and Irish Pub, Smoothie King, Coons Corner Sip and Shop, the Huntington Beverage Center, Roosters, Smokin' Jay's Rib and Brew House, Sods Wine and Spirits. The Summer Fun Passport's brought to you by Tailgaters Carryout, Coons Corner Sip and Shop, and Kindred Communications. Get on this station's website, sign up for your free passport, and win all summer long with the Summer Fun Passport.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what living united feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in West Virginia.
This message presented by the West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
People think saving money is hard, but really, it's easy. It's as simple as changing a few spending habits. For free tips on how to save the easy way, check out feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with this Thursday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Morocco trailing France. We're at the 85th minute. France continuing to be the prohibitive favorite in the World Cup. Earlier in the show, we've been talking a little bit about potential Marshall players that could be in Conference USA's Hall of Fame. We know that Rachel Fulton and John Elmore are the latest inductees, and then Kellyanne Billingy a few years ago. And we've been looking at Marshall's history in Conference USA. What are some of the standout moments that make you believe that your favorite player should be in Conference USA's Hall of Fame? And we're getting those texts at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This one's an interesting one. Texter says, Paul, she started at Marshall and she finished at Middle Tennessee. Savannah Wheeler. Yeah, I don't think it matters if you started at one Conference USA school and ended at the other. I don't think that matters. Out of Catlettsburg, Kentucky. She was a multiple winner of a Player of the Week award throughout her career. I mean, in her 23-24 season, she won it, I think, 5 times. She was a first-teamer. She was a tournament MVP, Player of the Year. She absolutely made an impact. When she was at Marshall, she was a perennial top 20 scorer. She led if she ended up nationally 17th in scoring with over 20 points a contest. So she made an amazing impact during her time with Marshall, and then she moved on to Middle Tennessee, stayed in Conference USA. I would say that if anyone is a shoo-in, depending on when the eligibility begins for players, I don't know all the details, but she would be someone that you would seriously look at. And honestly, I'd be happy for her, even though she did leave Marshall for her reasons, and she continued her career at Middle Tennessee, as players are known to do that. And here's the thing now, I bring this up. How hard is it going to be in the future to kind of look at your rosters of players that have been in the league and go, wow, that's a Hall of Fame career, when a player starts, let's say a player starts in Mid-American Conference, has a lot of success there, and then moves up, maybe goes to a Sun Belt school, and then moves up, maybe an American school, and then maybe finishes the career at maybe the ACC, maybe the Big Ten, maybe the SEC. So you're going to have potential for players to have played in several leagues, and then you go and look at Hall of Fame candidates, and you're going, okay, they were in the league for a year. Does that make them a Hall of Famer? That's an interesting question here. How are you going to? And I'm sure there are so many candidates now that would qualify, that have put the time in. I don't think you have to worry about that problem anytime soon as far as who do you induct into the Hall of Fame. It's not like you're inducting everyone that ever played. You only take a few a year. So you have for some time now, you have potential to not run out if you're very limited in how many players get in. I mean, it should be an exclusive club. It should be a club in which it's hard to get in. Once you're in, you're in. Definitely a candidate that you would look at. Played at Marshall, played at Middle Tennessee. I am absolutely in favor of that suggestion. So that was a good one. I appreciate the text. And we'll get more of yours in 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our number to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I don't know if I don't know. Let's see. I'm reading this text right now. Texture says, Paul, definitely Kelly. We're talking about Kelly Schmidt. And, don't forget, Kissel. Yeah. Said that they were awesome, but only here 2 years. Does that matter? That's a great text. Thank you. Got to give a little love to the tennis team today. Does that matter as far as time served? Because Kelly was a freshman in 2005, and didn't she play up until, talking about what, 2008 maybe? I would think she would qualify. I would push that one. Absolutely. I put Kelly put Kelly in that first tier list as far as tennis players that deserve to be inducted into Conference USA. I'm looking at Kissel's record now. Michaela Kissel, she definitely is worthy of Conference USA. Now, she's going to be inducted. She's already in the Marshall Hall of Fame. She's in the class of 2026. So why not follow that up with Conference USA? I would say, okay, I think I understand what the texts are saying now, because Kissel was here 2 years. Kelly would definitely be the go-to. And texter texts back and clarifies. It says, hey, Kissel played 2, 3 for Miami, Florida, but it was top 50 nationally while at Marshall. Okay, I think you can make the argument there. And honestly, she's in the Marshall Hall of Fame, so she counts. We claim her. She counts. And so I would say, yeah, I would look at that and go, hey, that's a worthy name to front and put up there. But I'm definitely going to champion on the tennis side, Kelly Schmidt. I'm going to probably go with Shayna for women's basketball. I'm probably going to lobby for a Vinnie Curry, a Morgan Zirkle, a Rakeem Cato. I'm going to lobby for those names on this list here in the future. And again, this is an exclusive club, so who gets in, who doesn't get in? Or at least it should be an exclusive club. And there's been some tremendous tennis players that have come through Marshall University over the many years the program has been run. So appreciate all the texts, appreciate the tennis texts today. We're going to be back with you tomorrow. We'll do it all over again right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. One final check from the World Cup before we say goodnight. France is leading Morocco 2-0. France is going to get to the semifinals of the World Cup. France, the favorite, or at least one of the favorites. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for being a part of it. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Until then, have a great night.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.